Welcome back. So tonight, my guest is the Honorable Abena Osei-Asare. She is the Member of Parliament for Etiwa East, but also the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, taking over from James Kluche Aveji. Welcome. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening to you, and good evening to your audience as well.
How are you doing?
I'm well. And
you are well.
I hope you are too.
Parliament is everywhere. The whole day we've been watching the vetting of
the CJ.
The CJ. This week we are coming back there for vetting. But I think for the budget. But for the past month or so, it's your committee that has been the main attraction. Is that the only committee that has been working?
No, other committees are also working.
Okay.
But, because of what we do, I think we are out there. The local government committee is also out there, and a couple of other committees are also working. So
how did you become the chair? I mean, was it something you chose? Was it something they conferred? How did you become the chair of the committee?
One, we know that with the committee chairs, they are done by the party and leadership of the respective parties or respective caucuses. And so my caucus chose me to head the Public Accounts Committee, yes, and to serve in that capacity. And it was something you wanted to do? It is something, one, I want to do, and two, I'm qualified to do it as well. So,
when they invested, you did economics?
Yes, I did.
But you're also a chartered accountant?
Yes.
So which one do you identify yourself with more?
Yes, my first degree was economics with geography. And while I was in the university, I also started...
Oh, so you minored in geography?
Yes.
And then you also chatted whilst you were on campus?
No, I started the exam. I started writing the exam while I was on campus. And then when I completed the university, I think within 2 years, I chatted.
Did you actually practice with your accounting?
Yes, my first job was at New York University in Ghana. It's a study abroad site for the main New York University. And there I was the assistant director in charge of finance and facilities. So I got the opportunity to also practice it.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So when you became Deputy Finance Minister in 2017.
Yes, in 2017.
Because at the time, you know, usually they talk about the mix of competences. Some people are economics, some are finance. I think Setepa was an accountant, just like you. So within that group, the first group, you were the main accountant, right?
Yes, I was a chartered accountant, and also I had a degree in economics and also a master's in finance development.
Okay, because your boss is a banker.
Yes.
And then I think Charles Edubuahin
was also a banker. I also moved to the bank eventually before coming into mainstream.
Oh, you worked in banking too?
Yes.
So you have economics, you have finance, you have accounting and banking all in one. Interesting. You became the Minister of State at some point, right?
Yes, in 2024.
Okay.
Yes, when Finance Minister left, and the Minister of State, which was Honorable Amin Adams, was made the Finance Minister. Yes, and I was promoted to the Minister of State. So
what is the Public Account Committee's job? What do you guys try and do?
You know, it is enshrined in the Constitution that the Auditor General, Article 187, the Auditor General have to prepare reports of government expenditure, the monies that have been voted by Parliament for the ministries, departments, and agencies to spend. And then thereafter, they will have to account for it to see whether it was utilized in an efficient manner. And so that is what the Auditor General does. And when the Auditor General gets the reports to Parliament, as it's supposed to be, then it is referred to the Public Accounts Committee. So what we do is to scrutinize, clarify, and find out why certain infractions have been made and what we can do where it boils down to the loss of money, retrieval of money. Then we also assist the state to recover such funding, or where we have to put checks and balances in place to tighten internal controls. We also recommend and we send it to the floor of Parliament for adoption.
So what year's audit? So is it the Auditor General's report you are using?
Yes.
Is it like the General Auditor General's report or the specific ones?
No, the Auditor General can't come up with any report at all. Some are performance audit reports, and some are the regular reports where the Auditor General looks at the whole of government accounts for the year, and in terms of the Controller and Accountant General's books, and that involves all the funding that is paid, that is utilized by government, and some also are specific to the ministries, departments, and agencies, and that has to do with the budget that has been voted for these agencies by Parliament, and some also are, like I said, audit performance reports, where they want to see. A typical example was the COVID-19 reports. Yes, so when the Auditor General, for any reason, feels that it has to go into one particular item or the other that public funds have been voted for, yes, they have the right to do so.
So this current sitting is for the 2023-24 fiscal year?
Some are for 2023-2020, but it's mainly 2024. But for the performance audit reports, it spans 2-3 years, and some 2020 from 2022 to 2024, and so
you are doing both concurrently?
Yes,
I see. Because I notice you invite sometimes heads of ministries, departments and agencies, and sometimes you invite the minister to come along. Why do you have to add the ministers?
You know that the ministries, departments and agencies, we have the principal spending officer, which is the chief director and the technical people, and then we have the one who makes policy, that's the political head. And so once you make policy, you also need to come with the principal spending officer, because after you have done the policy, it is the principal spending officer that will help implement whatever policies that have been put in place. So together, you are in a better position to give us clarity on anything at all that you have been cited for. And that is why consistently we invite not just the technical people, but the policy maker as well to help us understand.
So is it every entity audited in the report that you invite?
Yes, once you have been audited. There are some, a typical example is for that of the public boards and state institutions. There are some, it's just their accounts, their financial performance, their financial position that they have been cited for. And then so you come for clarification, and then where there is a need for an advice or anything, we also let you know.
I see. Because I've seen, for example, a number of ministers. I saw Health Minister Komna Akando.
Yes.
Spend a bit of time there. And he stays for different entities under him.
Yes, because, you know, the ministries are not made up of just the ministers, but there are other agencies. So for the health ministry, you have Ghana Health Service, you have National Health Insurance Authority, you have a couple of others. So once they are all cited, and the teaching hospitals, that's when you saw a number of the teaching hospitals also coming in. And so once they are all cited, you, the policy maker, will have to come with the principal spending officers.
So what is the committee's objective? Is it to say, because obviously the auditor has written his opinion,
yes,
and he has also concluded whether a finding is material or not.
Yes.
So are you validating what he did? Are you getting clarification? I just want to understand the role of Parliament in the audit process.
Yeah, the role of Parliament is enshrined in the Constitution. Yeah, the Constitution says it has to be brought to Parliament, and Parliament will have to refer it to a committee. Then the committee will look at it and then come up with recommendations. And so one is enshrined in the Constitution, so that is what we do. And then two, I believe that for whatever reason, once somebody has been cited, you need to give the person a fair hearing, at least hear their side of the story. And also, it's not just to hear your side, but since then, what steps have you taken to make sure you address this particular infraction that you have been cited for, so that moving forward, it does not occur? Because some of them involves the loss of money, some of them involves the breakdown of processes and systems. And so we want to check these things, and that is why we invite them to come, give us clarification, and also they should tell us what they have been able to do to make sure such infractions do not occur.
Some people criticize the work of your committee as almost needless. Some people think the horse has already bolted because these people are being audited a year after they've left, or they are being made to account. Indeed, there's an article written by journalist Manasseh Azuri-Awuni, and I'll just read a paragraph. He basically launched a critique of the PAC, questioning both its credibility and its relevance in ensuring financial accountability in public office. In a social media post, accompanied by a photo of Finance Minister Kenofriata and John Kuma and the current chairperson Abena Osei-Asare, Manasseh described the committee's work as, quote, a nuisance drama, unquote, that had lost its purpose. I'm not sure if you've seen this article.
No.
What do you make of a description by a respected journalist that your work is nuisance drama? He goes on to explain. I don't have time to go through all. Okay. But he questioned the PAC's overall impact, stating that despite its televised sessions and public attention, the committee has failed to bring about any tangible results or systemic accountability. Let me quote him. PAC has not proved to be useful. Besides wasting public funds and raising our emotional temperatures about the malfeasance the Auditor General uncovers. And then he also, of course, criticized the fact that you were Deputy Finance Minister at some point. But let's even deal with the substantive issue of the committee raising our temperature and then not recovering any money. What's your reaction to that?
Most people don't really understand the work that we do. We are not there to raise temperatures. We are not there to bite anybody. But we are there fulfilling a constitutional mandate in the first place. And Bernard, in every organization, it's at the end of the year that they take stock of their financial issues, their financial position, their financial performance. And so it is in that same vein that at the end of the year, the Auditor General is mandated to go through your books and make sure that every penny that you were, or every pesewa that or cedi that was voted for you was utilized in an efficient manner and to address the needs of the people. And so if you really understand, you will know that it is only at the end of the year that the Auditor General can do this. And once they do this and then they also submit the reports to Parliament, it gives all of us an opportunity to look at it. It's based on some of these infractions that the government felt that it had to come up with a public financial management law to guide us.
Act 921.
And that is what birthed the Public Financial Management Act 91.
PFMA.
Yes.
But Manasseh's point, and let me give you an example. He says, citing an example, Manasseh recalled how a previous PAC, chaired by James Savage, directed metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to halt questionable fumigation contracts with waste management companies in Lion. However, these same contracts were later renewed and even extended from 2 to 5 years. He noted, underscoring what he describes as the toothless nature of the committee.
Okay. Bernard, we want to go beyond that. And as going beyond that, what can we do to make sure that really our recommendations are carried out? And as one of the steps that this current committee, Public Accounts Committee, wants to do is to peg your the fulfillment of your recommendations to the approval of your budget. So that if we all agree, it is one of the recommendations that we are going to table to the floor of Parliament, so that if we all agree that these are the infractions that have been cited against you, we engaged you, and based on the engagement, we are coming out with these recommendations that you ought to address, adopt and address. So failure to do that, we are suggesting that Parliament should not approve your budget until it is done. And we believe it will take the accountability, a step further.
Does the Ministry of Finance agree with this, your recommendation?
So I've said this is one of the proposals that we're going to send to the floor. Yes.
So this particular
particular PAC, because as part of our rounding up and end of program message, that was one of the proposals we put on the table, that we believe that if we peg the recommendations to your approval, your budget approval, I believe it will go a long way to check, one, the repetition of these infractions, and two, to also reduce it to, the barest minimum. And
are you okay? Fair enough. So that's one.
Yes.
Are you able to recover any money? Because again, I do know that the Auditor General himself has the power to disallow an expenditure. So maybe I made an expenditure which was off budget. He can disallow it, and I have to essentially either pay it back or receive it from the person who take it from the person who it was paid to. So that's already the Auditor General's authority. What authority do you have? And within your committee, are you able to do anything? Can you recover any money? Can you do anything for us?
Bernard, there have been instances where the mere fact that they have been agencies, departments and ministries have been cited, they quickly go and do the needful. You hear, on TV that yes, we've had to clear this infraction. When was this infraction cleared? Sometimes they tell you the day before, because they know, they are coming or they are appearing before Public Accounts Committee. But as we speak, I know Public Accounts Committee with the Auditor General, have done some recoveries. And yes, there's a report of was it 12 billion that over a period that the Auditor General, together with the Public Accounts Committee, have been able
12 billion cedis.
Yes, and there's a report to that effect.
Maybe you can share with us. I would like to know whether it's just this past financial year.
No, I said over time.
Over a longer period.
Over time.
12 billion cedis in misappropriated state funds.
No, not
that has been recovered
in funds that have been recovered. You know, the funds are placed into various categories. Some are misappropriated funds, some are procurement issues, some are tax irregularities. And so, yes, so
misappropriated funds,
tax irregularities, procurement issues, and a couple of
and there's also irregularities that you put. Okay, interesting.
So when you put all together, that is what I mean. So there are various categories.
Let's deal with the second issue. The second issue has to do not with the committee but with you. So Osei-Asare Obeng has basically said you don't have the moral right to be chair of this committee because a lot of the work being scrutinized happened under your tenure, particularly because you're deputy finance minister. In fact, some of the institutions, by reason of your position, you're either a board chair or a member of those boards. Deputy finance minister has a statutory role on some boards. So he feels like you were to be the one to supervise. And don't forget, when the state interest and governance accountability arrangement was put together, the finance ministry is almost like the supervisor of the financial performance of a lot of these organizations. So in a sense, these are people you oversaw who did all these infractions. Why are you now the one chairing a committee to review their work as if you're not part of it? That's basically the problem.
Okay. You know, and let me just correct that SIGA was under the office of the president at that time.
Okay.
And so yes, they were supposed to manage the state-owned enterprises.
Okay.
But I must say that, I mean, there's neither conflict of interest in any way, because the Public Accounts Committee, one, is always chaired by member from the opposition. And then two, we have taken steps. When I say we, as in Parliament, has taken steps to curb some of these things. And that is why in Order 2294 of our standing orders, it says that when issues or reports from the Auditor General pertains to the year in which the chairperson was in government, that proceedings will be taken over by the ranking. So consistently, you see me announcing that this pertains to a 2024 report for which I was in government. So I am ceding the chairperson, the chairmanship role to my ranking. And
which is why I think for the ECG one,
no, for all the reports.
All the reports
we are looking at reports that pertain to when I was in government.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay. So when you're in government, you can't be the one to scrutinize because.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because consistently, I mean, we want to promote fairness, we want to promote proper accountability and transparency, and so Parliament has already taken care of that. And once you check,
but isn't there a fear that you can interfere? So I agree with that. So the point is, you will not chair the proceeding, but you can influence the report, can't you? So I'm trying to stretch it. They're saying, fine, you were there when this crime occurred. It was a crime. You are saying, when that matter is being discussed, my ranking is the one chairing. But the overall report can be influenced by the chair.
You know, infractions that we deem as a crime, we refer it to the Auditor General, like procurement issues. So once, and we do not sit there to pronounce as to whether this is a crime or not. It is the reports or the recommendations of the Auditor General. And then based on that, we make references to the AG for prosecution where we feel one, it has to do with procurement issues. But so that is it. And for that one, nobody can influence it. We look at it with the bipartisan eyes. We all discuss and then we say, this is what we want to do. And we go ahead and do it.
So morally, you don't see any problem with chairing a committee to review the work of a previous administration that you were part of? You don't see a moral issue there?
This is something that has consistently gone on. In 2017, the chairperson for the Public Accounts Committee was saw to the reports that pertained to when their government was in power. And by this time, he was the chair.
But he wasn't a minister.
He was the chair.
James Abeji was not a minister under
it doesn't matter whether you are a minister or not. What matters most is what you set out to do. Yes.
Let's take a breather. When we come back, I'll show some highlights. I think there have been some interesting moments from this Public Accounts Committee. We'll watch it together and she'll explain what she was trying to do there. And then in the next bit of the interview, we'll talk a bit about the budget that the man who used to be her opposite number is now in the main driving seat. Kazela Tufo, since presenting the budget on Thursday. We'll talk about that. To stay with us.